So another important grammar concept in SAT is verb tenses. This verb tenses include present tense, past tense, future tense, and present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. Those are the 6 main tenses that we have to know for the SAT writing. So obviously, when you're uh, learning this concept, you would obviously know what present, past, future means. But some people are kind of confused with present perfect or past perfect or future perfect. So we really have to overview the whole verb tenses. So starting from present tense, you should already know this is the action that happens right at the moment that you say the thing. So basically, looking at the timeline, when you're saying this, the action should also happen at the same time. For example, I am, let's say, running. This is a form of present tense using present tense. So I am saying I am running, meaning that I am doing this action at the moment. So this is pretty clear, right? And past tense is also clear. When this is basically when you say something, the action is at the past before action happens before you say the thing. So I ran yesterday. So basically, uh, you just use different verb tense to indicate that the action happened in the past. And the future tense is basically, you should already know this. When you say this thing, the action should be in the future. So let's say let's use the same example for the thing. I will run tomorrow, or I will run. So this is very simple. You should already know this. This is basic grammar that you have to know. But let's look a little closer to the timeline of it. So I haven't explained anything about the perfect tenses yet. Now we're going to start explaining about the tenses, perfect tenses. So when we say this is the present and this is the future, and that's the past. Oops. Past. Look at this. Okay. Future perfect is right here. And past perfect is right here in terms of the timeline. And present perfect is like something that did happen in the past, but it's still continuing until now. That's present perfect. So this is the kind of the timeline that you have to keep in mind to answer these questions. Maybe it might be kind of confusing at the moment, but you will get it as I explain each of those things later in the video. So let's start by this concept, this tense, past perfect. Past perfect is in a form of, let me get the pen, had plus something verb. Okay. So had plus something verb. So it's like had experienced, had faced, had finished something. So basically, this indicates an action that happens before another past action. So when something happened, whenever you're using a past perfect, there should be another past tense in the same sentence. So a hint you can find a past perfect is when you look at the sentence and you see another past tense in there, and then when you need to write another verb, it's usually when you have to write past perfect. So this is the hint that you can. This is a rule that almost always follows. So whenever there's past perfect, you should definitely look for another past tense. So if you do not have any past perfect, if you do not have any past tenses, you should really not use past perfect tenses. Um, so when you look at this sentence, the group had finished the project before the teacher arrived. So when you look at this, the first thing I said about the hint is, in a sentence there should be another past tense, which is in this case arrived, and had finished would be the past perfect verb or tense. So let's think about this in a timeline setting. So in a timeline, you're setting this right now, okay, and you're talking about the event. There's two actions. They finished this project and teacher arrived. There's two actions. What happened first? Well, the group had finished the project before the teacher arrived. So teacher arrived in a later setting. Teacher arrives here, and you finish the group work before group project, let's say. So in this setting, you're saying right now, and you're saying the group had finished, meaning, and then the teacher arrived. So when you want to say group project, you just use past perfect, so that to indicate that group project was finished before the teacher arrived. So that is how you indicate past perfect tenses. So whenever you're solving any questions in SAT, and usually they underline the verb and then ask for what tenses you use. So whenever there is another past tense within the sentence, you should definitely think that it's past perfect, because you really need another. This is a really big hint that you can find past perfect tenses. So coming to present perfect. Present perfect is basically an action that happens. Present tense is basically the something that happened in the past and that continues until the present time. And it can also be an action that happened at a time that is not definitely stated. And also action that ended recently. So there's a lot of information right now, but you should just think that first it's about, so you're saying right now and saying, oh, something happened in the past, but it is still continuing until now. So it is in a form of have or has plus verb. So like with this case, have finished or has finished. So as I said, this kind of concept is a something that happened in the past and it continues until now. So what are some of the hints you can find? Words like since. Oh wait. These kind of words are a very good indicator that the sentence will be a present perfect tense, because since also means something happened in the past and then it still continues until now, right? So when you say, let's say this, since 1950, Korea has experienced many challenges. What is this trying to say? Okay, looking at the timeline, 1950. So Korea, this is now present. So Korea has experienced many challenges. So when did they experience challenges? Well, starting from 1950, it has continued to experience these challenges throughout the years until today. So since 1950, Korea has experienced many challenges, right? Another example is, I have faced many changes in life. So in this case, it didn't really specifically say the definite times. You know, this says since 1950. It didn't really justify the time, but it's okay. The second definition of present perfect is action that happened at a time that is not definitely stated. So this also works. I have well, if you say I faced many challenges yesterday, it doesn't work like this. But if you say I have faced many challenges in life, it usually means, from somewhere in your life to till today I have experienced many challenges. So these are the times that you use present perfect. So now for the future perfect. So future perfect is basically between present tense and the perfect tense. So in this, the form of this is will will have this is will have plus verb have or has, I would say. So wait, no. Will have experienced. Well, has experienced doesn't work. Will has experienced wouldn't work. Will have experienced. Will have challenged. Will have something verb. Okay, so this basically means the hint will be very efficient. So by 2020, I will have married. So by this time, I will have married. Right? This is more clear than the other two perfects. It's basically just between present and perfect.